So let us look at introductory chemistry, periodic classification of elements. Basically, chemistry talks about different substances or materials around you. Material means that which is made up of with matter. Matter is anything that occupies some space and has some mass. Do you know? Air is matter, you are matter because you do occupy some space and have some mass. And this material or matter is made up of with small units. Let us say if you go on dividing any matter, you take for example iron, metal, gold, copper or table salt. If you go on breaking that matter, you get a small units which are repeating. The small unit in case of simple substances which you see in your day-to-day life, say glucose. In glucose, small structural unit that repeats appears to be a molecule. Molecule means a group of atoms with a definite composition, say C6H12O6. This is the composition of the repeating molecule that exists in glucose. It means that it is made up of with three fundamental substances, namely carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The simplest form of matter, which contain by and large one kind of small specks, I call them as atoms, is called element. In an element, which is the fundamental substance, by and large all atoms are similar. They have all similar composition, but sometimes in elements atoms may differ in their masses. Mass means actually that what you think as a mass is not the mass of atom, because atoms are so small, really it is difficult to measure their mass. If you want to measure your mass, you can measure it directly. Do you know how to measure your mass or mass of a chair, so on? But element atoms are so small, their masses cannot be measured as we are measuring the bigger objects' masses. In that case, we express the masses of elements in relative scale. The simplest form of matter, which is made with by and large one kind of atoms, is element. When the atoms of the elements combine in different ways, and means you are getting compounds. Sometimes atoms of one element are packed in groups called molecules, and those materials are also available and we experience them in day to day life. For example, when you talk iron metal, when you talk of gold, when you talk of hydrogen gas, when you talk of oxygen gas, when you talk of sulfur, these are all elements only. They are available as such. Notice that the repeating unit in case of iron I am representing as Fe, that is ferrum, its Latin name. The symbol is taken from that. Au means gold, Rm means gold, H2 means hydrogen, O2 means oxygen, sulfur means acid. Notice this hydrogen is existing as H2 molecules which has two atoms. I call it as diatomic. Even oxygen is diatomic. You can see sulfur is existing as octatomic molecules. Phosphorus exists as tetraatomic molecules, so on. When the atoms of the elements are combining in a definite proportion, you are getting compounds, say like carbon dioxide, like water, like your glucose, which you have already seen, like your sulfuric acid molecules, like different substances are made by a combination of different atoms of different elements in a different ratio. We are not worried of these compounds at this point of time. Our main focus is now, is there any rhythm? Is there any pattern? Is there any logic in the existence of all the elements around us? And can I make any generalization to have an outline idea about infinite compounds that are being made by all these elements? So, to understand entire chemistry, two things appears to be very, very important. One is a good understanding about how the atom of an element is made up of, what is its constitution. Second thing, how logically we can arrange all the known elements. The classification of anything makes study of anything simple and systematic. There were so many attempts to classify elements right from 1800 year. Originally, the atomic weights were taken as basis to classify the elements. The scientists who tried in these lines are Dobereiner, who proposed the concept of triads. He picked up some elements and he said that if I arrange the elements in groups of 3, the atomic mass average of first and third element is approximately equal to that of second one. So he could arrange the elements like lithium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Like that he arranged. And if you really work out the atomic weights averages of first and third, the second one comes. But he could not arrange many more elements in this way. Newland is another scientist who tried to arrange the elements in the increasing order of atomic weights like musical notes. He said there will be repetition at every eighth element in the properties to that of first element. Another man is called Chang-Courtois. He tried to arrange the elements in a helix. And another gentleman is Lothar Meyer. Lothar Meyer and Mendeleev. These two people met with some degree of success in arranging the elements in the order of their atomic weights. Lothar Meyer actually has taken a property that is based on atomic weight, that he considered the atomic volumes. But these two earlier attempts to make all the elements organized into a table form, where they try to explain the logic in the similarities of properties of some elements and explain the gradual variation, met with some success. Mendeleev organized his periodic table into some vertical columns and into some horizontal rows. Vertical columns he kept, including noble gases, some 9 vertical columns, and horizontal rows are 7. His basis of classifying elements was increasing order of atomic weight. It really helped in the discovery of some 3 new elements. With the help of his periodic table, he could correct the atomic weights of some elements. And he applied a logic beyond the atomic weight. He also considered the way atoms combine with others. That is, he considered the valency. By valency we mean the combining capacity of atoms. Say, with how many hydrogen atoms an atom can combine, or with how many Cl atoms an atom can combine, or double the number of oxygen atoms with which an atom can combine, is called its valency. In modern terms, we are saying the number of electrons lost or gained or shared by an atom can also be called as the valency. Notice, atoms as such generally don't exist independently, they exist in groups, because in that way they make groups of atoms and get stability. The group of atoms is called molecule, as you already know. Sometimes atoms try to combine with others, one by losing electron and the other one by gaining electron. You know, electron is a negatively charged particle. Generally, the electrons which they try to lose appears to be those which are there in the outermost level, because we in atom we think that electrons are arranged in different levels, and the outermost level is called valency level. Therefore, number of electrons involved in losing, gaining or sharing appears to be